Hi guys, welcome back. If you are new here, click the subscribe button. Also, if you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Kayla, and today I'm going to be doing my story. So this is going to be my teen pregnancy and motherhood story. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. So, big elephant in the room. Yes, I was technically a teen mom. Now here's my entire story. So I had met my husband, my now husband. We got married 5 years ago. That's a whole different story. You guys want to hear that? Definitely like this video so I can make that video for you guys. I also want to get my husband on this channel, so maybe we can do that. I was a teen mom. So I met my husband when I was 18 years old. I had just graduated high school. I literally just graduated the day we started talking. I think it was maybe the day after we started talking. It was something along those lines. But we started talking, and we started talking in June of 2016. I want to say it was like 5 days later, he kept asking me on a date. I was not interested. I actually didn't want anything to do with guys. I wanted to be alone and be by myself, and the universe was like, no, we can't have that. So I met my husband on June 2nd. That's when we had our first date. I kept telling him, no, I don't want to go on a date. I'm just not there. And then something in me was telling me to say yes. So I said yes, let's have a date. And our date was that we were gonna have, me and my family, we were gonna have a family dinner, and then we were gonna watch a movie. It was gonna be my dad, my brothers, my sister-in-law, my nieces, my nephews, like everyone. Actually, I didn't have a nephew at that time. Crazy. Everyone in my family were just gonna come over to my house, and we were gonna have some, I believe we had chicken wings. So we had dinner and we watched a movie. I believe we watched Bad Grandpa. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Sorry family if you're watching this. Brayden and I snuck upstairs, and how do I put this? We did the deed. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. So that was kind of the start of it. And it was on his end. It was supposed to be a one-night stand. And even for me, I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna go on this date with this guy. If it turns into nothing, whatever, I don't care. So we started dating that day. We were sitting on the couch, and he was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? We started dating that day. He asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, yes. And I want to say on our third date, some shit went down with my family. If you guys follow me over my IG, you kind of know a little bit of that backstory if you watch my stories a lot. I was living with my dad at this time, and some shit went down. We're just gonna say that. And we decided to move in together on our third date. We started looking at apartments together. He actually lived in a different town that was quite a ways away from me. So we were long distance for the first almost 2 months of our relationship. But he would come down like every weekend, and we would just like hang out. On July 27th, we moved into our first house, and I went no contact with my father. So you can kind of see shit went down, okay? Now it was time to live together and be together, and we were only together dating for not even 2 months at that point, the time that we moved in. So we moved in together in July, and in October I had a pregnancy scare. I could have sworn up and down that I was pregnant. I was having all of the symptoms. I think now that it was the flu, but literally like I had missed birth control pills, like pretty much like 2 weeks straight of my birth control pills. We were out of town. We were busy and crazy and like ADHD undiagnosed at that time, and forgot some of my pills. So I was like, oh shoot, I might be pregnant. Who knows? So I took a pregnancy test. I believe this was November 1st. So it's been exactly 6 years, which is just so crazy. So I took a pregnancy test on November 1st and it came back negative. So I got a negative pregnancy test and I was actually very, very sad. Even though we weren't trying, I was like, I kind of got used to the idea of me being pregnant. I know that sounds absolutely crazy. I know. But that night I told Brayden like the test is negative, and we sat down and we had a conversation about, do you want to try for a baby? And he was like, we can. That was literally how the conversation went. He was like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that's what we did. I got off of my birth control pills and we started trying in November of 2016. So if you're doing the math here, that's not even 5 months after we got together. I know, absolutely crazy. When you know, you know, 100%. I used to not believe in if you know, you know, but now that is my story, I 100% do. So we started trying in November of 2016. The first month was not successful, and actually that kind of hit me a little too hard. I know that gets the first month. I knew that, but it was kind of like an irrational thing. I also have endometriosis. So the first month was not successful, and it really hit me kind of hard because I have endometriosis, and throughout my entire teen years, I was terrified of never being able to have kids. It took my mom 10 years to get pregnant with my first brother. So I did not want that to be my story. And also that was another little point that went into us trying so young. I was now 19 at this point. My birthday's in November. Our first month trying, I had just turned 19 and had my period. That cycle was not successful. We went on to the second month, and I was convinced after the whole ovulation and everything and the 2-week wait, I was convinced I was not pregnant. I was like, there is absolutely no way that a baby is in me right now. I am having 0 symptoms. I just don't feel pregnant, even though like I didn't know what that would feel like at that point. I just didn't, there was like that intuition that like, I don't know, I just don't feel pregnant. So I was a week late. I could have found out in December, which is literally the craziest thing to me, is that I could have found out I was pregnant in December. So January is now here, and I was very much late for my period. I was a week late by the time I tested. I was texting one of my best friends, and she had actually texted me, I believe it was New Year's, and she was like, I'm pregnant. We were not planning together at all. That was not it at all. But she was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. So we started talking, and she was like telling me about all of her symptoms and like her pregnancy and like how far along she is. And I was like, I'm a week late. Should I take a test? And she was like, do it, dude. Like, go do it. So I had a test left over from the month previous. I didn't even buy any tests, guys. Like, that is how convinced I was that I was not pregnant. So I had a digital left. It was like the 2-pack kind of thing where it had like a line test and then a digital. And I had never taken the digital before. So I was like, whatever. So I pee on the test and it's not doing anything. Like, it's not even blinking the little thing that like blinks. It like takes a minute for it to like process. And in my head, I'm like, it's not okay. Like, this is a faulty test. I literally set it on our bathroom counter in our apartment. So crazy. Like, we now have a house. I set it on the bathroom counter and I walk out. It is maybe 15 minutes by the time I'm like, I'm gonna go check the test and see if it did anything, it's probably faulty, and then if it did, it's probably negative. You guys, when I look down, there is a bold positive, says yes on it, and I just like dropped my jaw. That was literally I'm gonna get emotional. Every time I tell this story, I get emotional. My jaw dropped. That was really the first time in my life that I have ever been truly speechless. I couldn't even mutter out any words. I was just in shock at this point. I don't even, like, I was so convinced that I was not pregnant that I'm like, this is gonna be negative. Like, this is so stupid. Why am I taking a test? Like, so stupid. Like, my period's just late. And the first month that we were trying, my period was also late because I had just gotten off birth control. So my hormones were not regulated. I was on birth control for 3 years at that point, I think. Got on it when I was 16, so it was quite a while. So my body hadn't had like a real cycle in quite a while. I found out I was pregnant on January 5th, 2017, and our baby was due in August of 2017. It is just absolutely crazy to me that it has been 6 years since that day, and I just like, it blows my mind. I'm sorry if you guys can hear wind chimes, they're my neighbors, and the wind is picking up. So yeah, I found out I was pregnant and it was time to tell Brayden, and that night I put like the pregnancy test in like a little box, and I was like, your late Christmas present is here. Like I was trying to like play it off that it was like a Christmas present that I bought, and I was like, here's your late Christmas present. I can't believe that it arrived late. And he opened it and he was like, oh, whoa, like you're pregnant. And I think we were both just like in shock that it happened. Not only that it happened, but it happened that fast. It was only 2 months of trying. So then we had our baby girl. We had a baby girl in August of 2017. If you guys want to go see all of those videos, this is why I actually posted all of my old videos in chronological order, so that people can kind of go see how exactly my story unfolds. My baby is crying. I'll be right back. My baby's down here. She's gonna eat for probably the duration of this video. We had her in August of 2017, and I had undiagnosed postpartum anxiety, and I'm pretty sure a little bit of postpartum depression as well. My anxiety was the worst that it's ever been, ever in my entire life. And I didn't know what was wrong with me. And the entire first 4 months of her life were a complete blur. So it was a week after she was born. My now husband proposed to me. If you guys want like an entire full proposal video, I can do that, but it's not gonna be in here. It'll be like a whole different video. So he proposed to me, I said yes. And when she was not even 2 months old, we got married. So our marriage, our wedding was planned in 1 month. Our wedding was planned in 1 month. We got married in October of 2017. And this was not like a shotgun wedding, like we have to get married. We don't believe in that. Obviously we had a kid out of wedlock. We really didn't care. And if you guys want to see my ring, I need to go get it polished so bad. I haven't gotten it cleaned in like a year. So anyway, fast forward to when my daughter was, I believe, 7 months old. Brayden turns to me and he goes, I want to have another baby with you. We had decided when I was pregnant that she was going to be our one and only. He also has another daughter from a previous relationship as well. So we were not going to have another baby. We didn't want a big family. We just wanted one and done. And especially after that pregnancy, even though that pregnancy was literally my easiest pregnancy, like pregnancy kind of threw me for a whirl. I was always told that pregnancy is magical, and not for me. So anyway, we started trying when she was 9 months old, and the first month we had actually had a miscarriage, and it was an early miscarriage. It was about 4 weeks. And that was rough. It still is. 4 years later, it really gets to me. That was in June of 2018. So a lot has happened in just those few years. So we had a miscarriage, and then unexplained infertility, probably because of my endometriosis, for a year. I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions about me saying that I had infertility, but I really did. And that's literally the definition of it. So in June of 2018, we had that miscarriage, and then in June of 2019, it was actually exactly 1 year from my miscarriage, I found out I was pregnant. And that was shocking, absolutely shocking, because we had actually stopped trying. Because in March of that year, I had actually been diagnosed with gallstones and told that I needed surgery. And so we were trying to get me to have surgery instead of trying for a baby. And unexpected things happen, and I am pregnant. So I'm like, of course, we try, and bam, I'm pregnant. His pregnancy really threw me for a whirl. So I had a boy. He was born in February of 2020, so he was born just before the pandemic. So I had a pandemic baby, and that was absolutely insane. If you guys want me to do like an entire video on like what it's like to not have a pandemic baby, because now I have 2 pandemic babies, so definitely let me know. But yeah, so his pregnancy really threw me for a whirl. I had heavy bleeding. I believe I was 15 weeks. I was so sure that I was miscarrying again, and this one threw me even more for a whirl because I already knew his gender. We had his name picked out. We had his name picked out since we started trying. His name is Elliot, and that was the name that we had picked out when we first started trying. And I had heavy bleeding. My husband drove me to the urgent care, and where I was later diagnosed about a few days later at my midwife's office with a uterine prolapse. So I did not miscarry. They found the baby's heartbeat at the urgent care, and that's really all they did. They didn't do anything else, which is like, I could have checked the baby's heartbeat at my house. Like, I have a Doppler. That really threw me for a whirl. Yes, I have a uterine prolapse, and it's actually a 3rd degree, which means that it's outside of me. So you guys can go Google what all of those terminology means. If you guys want me to do like an entire video on like what my prolapse has been like and all of that, I will definitely do that. But hi, what you doing? You're being silly. So anyway, we go through that entire pregnancy. His pregnancy was really, really hard on my body. It was very, very, very hard. I also had SPD, which is the splitting of your pelvic bone because of the baby lying on your pelvic bone, and all of your ligaments and everything are very laxed because of relaxin. That's the hormone that your body releases when you're pregnant so that your body can like stretch and grow a baby. That is the hormone that your body releases when you get pregnant, and it like lets your body grow a baby. And my body released too much of that, and so it made my pelvic bone literally split. So fabulous. Also, during this pregnancy, I got diastasis recti, which is the splitting of your muscles. So your muscles are like this in your stomach, and when you grow a baby, they can go like this. So, yay. Yeah, like his pregnancy was very hard on my body. Very extremely hard on my body. So I gave birth in February of 2020. His birth vlog is also up on my channel if you guys want to go watch that. I actually love his birth vlog. Like, his birth was amazing. And my daughter's birth, picture perfect. Like, her birth was literally my favorite birth ever. So now that we had our second baby, I was like, I don't want any more babies. Braden was on the same page. We were both on the same page, and I was like, okay, we're not having any more babies. And then something happened when I was 9 months postpartum that I'm like, oh, I miss having a baby. And I started getting baby fever, and I was like, there was something in my gut telling me we're not done. Hi. What did you do? And you want to do some tummy time? Something in my gut was just telling me I'm not done having babies. And Braden was like, we're done. We're done having babies. We had so many conversations about this. Like, are you sure? Like, I want you to be 100% sure that you are done. And he was like, I'm sure, done. And there was just something in my gut telling me we're not done. There is a baby out there, and I had always had a feeling that we had a girl out there waiting for us. And when I was 20 months postpartum, I had a lot of symptoms from the IUD that were not okay with me. I had literally cramping 24/7. I was in so much pain constantly. I had literally no libido, like none whatsoever. So I was like, I'm getting off of this IUD, and we're gonna do condoms and natural family planning to prevent pregnancy until my husband can get a vasectomy. And the first month, we were really good. I was taking tests to make sure that I wasn't ovulating, and we were using condoms religiously until one day we just didn't, because that's typical use with condoms. They're not 100% effective when you use them with typical use, which means that sometimes you may forget one. Maybe you're just in the mood, you don't want to grab one. That's literally what happened. And almost 5 days later, it was 4.5 days technically, later, I ovulated. Now, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be pregnant. Like, I just don't feel like it. I was 3 days post-ovulation, and my daughter, who was 4 at the time, says, I just want another baby. Like, why can't you and Daddy have another baby? I know, right? She's like, oh, hello, I'm here. Why can't you and Daddy just have another baby? And I was like, honey, we're done having babies. Like, we're not having any more babies. Like, you and your brother are it. And little did we all know, I was pregnant in that moment. And I found out at 10 DPO that we were expecting a little miracle. I just had that gut feeling that we were not done. There was a baby out there, and I had a feeling that she was a girl. I just had this feeling that, like, we have a girl out there that is meant to be with us. And she's literally laying right here. My ADHD cannot handle those wind chimes. Her pregnancy threw me for a whirl even more than my son's did. I had 8 hospital admissions during her pregnancy for my heart. And then I also went into preterm labor at 35 weeks. And I had 3 hospital admissions there, and I had to see a cardiologist. Like, it was the craziest pregnancy ever, and I don't miss it. I am now almost 5 months postpartum, and I don't miss it at all. I do not miss pregnancy one single bit. I miss having like my baby and like feeling the little kicks, but even then, like, the kicks hurt. The kicks hurt. I also had SPD again, which is obviously the splitting of your pelvic bone. So my pelvic bone has been through a lot in the last 6 years. I actually want to go to a therapist for it to try and like make it better. I also need to have my stomach muscles repaired, so hopefully I can do that. I actually want a mommy makeover once everything is said and done. Like, that is my number one goal, is to get a mommy makeover, and I believe it would actually be covered by insurance because of how extreme my stuff is. So yeah, I am now 5 months postpartum with my third baby. I don't show her online. I don't show any of my kids online. Her birth was also very traumatic. If you guys go back, I believe, a few videos, I would talk about the birth trauma and everything. I am now 25, and I had my first baby at 19. So throughout my entire 20s, I've had a baby. I've had children. And what you doing, Bubba? Do you want to be on your back? There you go. There. Hi. What you doing? Hi. I'm just being silly. Yes. She's so cute. My husband and I just celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary. I need to go in a minute. My kids are fighting. But yeah, we just celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary. We now have 3 kids. Braden got his vasectomy. We are no longer having any more babies, and that is kind of the end of the story. I know it's kind of long-winded and kind of a lot to process and everything like that. Like, a lot has happened in the last 6 years. So it's just mind-boggling to me. If you guys want to know any more of my story, definitely comment that below, and I will maybe do like a video reply to you guys. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye guys.